Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is going to be a tea time chat all about how I shop for makeup. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. I thought in Black Friday week, I should do a tea time chat telling you not only about what I hope to be buying for Black Friday, but also how I tend to shop for makeup. One of my most asked questions on this channel is how did you get your hands on this? Especially from like people in the EU, sometimes they feel a little lost where I go for certain things. So I made a little list of, first of all, the things I want to purchase for Black Friday. So I'll kick things off with that. Then some brand websites that I tend to use if I shop those brands in particular. But I tend to shop mainly through online or offline stores that sell a lot of other brands. So I've made a list of stores that I like to go to and sort of like platforms that I keep tabs on, that I have accounts on, that I sometimes place an order with, and also things that I don't always place orders with, but only if they have sales or something like that. So I figured with this week being Black Friday week that there's probably going to be loads of deals around. I will put some of them in my description box down below. So that if you are interested in picking anything up this week, then you might. I have been shopping the Black Friday sales quite a bit, and I tend to go in with a plan. So I always make a list, like a little wish list of things I would like to get through Black Friday. And then I purchase them, and I always wait until the actual Black Friday weekend to purchase things, because that's when you find the best deals, at least in my opinion. But first things first, I have a nice milky tea here. I just went to Scotland, and of course, every time I go to the UK, I come back and I have cravings for milky tea, because in the UK, whenever you get tea somewhere, they always give you milk. So I made myself a really big mug of English tea. It's actually proper, well, it's PG tips. I know there's divides over what English tea is best, but PG tips I can get from my Asian supermarket. So that's what I got. And then just a splash of milk. So that's the tea. Let me tell you about the Black Friday purchases I would like to make for myself. First things first, I will be purchasing some products through MONOLITH, depending on availability. I hope to be buying the Fantasy Cosmetica Harvest of Souls, as well as the Rune Witch in the Wild Woods, or whatever it was called, the witchy palette that they did. There were two, a wizard and a witch one. I think I want to buy the witch one. Rune is a brand I've never tried before, so I hope those things stay in stock and I can pick them up through Black Friday. From what I can tell, the MONOLITH Black Friday sale is going to be a separate section on their website where they will have all the discounted products linked. I don't think they will have like a code for a certain percentage off of the entire website. At least that's not what I have seen so far. And they did already list some Black Friday products on their website. There is just a little tab on the website that you can click. These two products are brand new, so I don't think they will be part of the Black Friday sales, but this is when I have the budget to make that purchase, so that is my wish list for MONOLITH. I do have a code with MONOLITH in case you're curious. It's in the description box, and I'll pop it here as well. Through the Black Friday sale week, from what I gather, the code will not work to get you additional percentages off. It's usually 5% off. MONOLITH does this a lot, where they disable the code for high traffic periods. However, if you do want to help out the channel and you want me to be able to make purchases with some of the money that I get from your purchases on websites that I have codes for, then I have been informed that they will keep the commission active. So if you use my code on MONOLITH, you don't get the extra discount, but I do get commission. Do with that what you wish. It's your choice. You don't have to use it. But if you want to, you can. Another brand I want to shop from is Victoria Beckham. I just have 2 or 3 little things that I still want to pick up from the brand. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait until Black Friday. They do a sale very often already, like running up to Black Friday. But I found out last year that their Cyber Monday deal was the best one out of the bunch. So I think for this one, I'm going to wait until Cyber Monday to get products from them. I just have an eyeliner and one of those like potted eyeshadows that they do on my wish list, and that's about it. They haven't really come out with anything else that I'm interested in, so with Victoria Beckham, it's probably not going to be a huge order. It's just going to be small bits, but because it is a more expensive brand, of course, monetary value-wise, it's still going to be quite a bit of money, I think. So getting the 20 or 25% off for Black Friday week will be lovely on there. Victoria Beckham is a brand I'm not affiliated with. They did send me some PR in the past, and I can link to their website through the affiliate link program I'm part of. So usually if you find shopping links for Victoria Beckham products in my description box, that's how that works. So I can make a commission, but I don't have any codes or anything like that for you. Then I'm going to be placing myself an order with ColourPop because I'm almost out of my Pretty Fresh setting spray. So I'll be picking up one or two bottles of that product. And then I'm not sure because I do want to make sure I hit free shipping, because the only way that ColourPop is worth it to me is if they have a deal, and they usually do 30% off for Black Friday. I'm not sure if that's the case this year. Could be 25%, but at least getting some money off and then hitting free shipping and then getting the discount, that makes it worth it to me to get the products. So again, with ColourPop, it's a very small wish list, just that setting spray. I'm thinking the So Elemental palette, maybe the Twilight palette, and or Aurora Struck. Aurora Struck has been out for a while, and I don't love these really big palettes from ColourPop, but that's one that's still sort of pulling on my heartstrings ever since it was launched. But when I first placed an order for ColourPop after that had released, it was sold out and I couldn't get it. And now it's an older palette, so I don't know whether I still want it. And I technically don't want to buy a whole lot of other ColourPop eyeshadows. So I'm thinking maybe like 2 or 3 of the setting sprays and a palette. That's sort of where I'm going here. So again, not a huge order, just enough so I can hit free shipping with the discount, and then I'll be good. So that's not going to be massive. Where I am going to be buying a little bit more is YESSTYLE. I have a pretty sizable wish list on YESSTYLE for both makeup and skincare, and I've decided that I'm going to be purchasing all of the makeup-y bits from that wish list on YESSTYLE. YESSTYLE is a website I do have a code for, and I also have an affiliate link with them, so you can find that in the description box. I'll put the code right here. I have no clue with YESSTYLE whether my code will be active or not. I haven't been informed of anything regarding Black Friday when it comes to YESSTYLE, but they very often do a really good deal for Black Friday, so I hope to be able to get my products with a little bit of money off. I did already take an item from my wish list. My heart is still set on trying the 3CE Raw Neutrals palette at some point, but it went up in price on YESSTYLE like tremendously. Like the first time I spotted it, it was like 35 euros, and now all of a sudden it's 54. It's the exact same palette, and I'm like, And then it went down in price for a few months around like 44 euros, and then I was like considering it, and now right before Black Friday, they upped the price again to 54 euros, and I'm like, that's not going to happen, because even if I then get the discount, it's still going to be a full price product. So I don't know where the price fluctuations on YESSTYLE come from. It's very, very weird, but with YESSTYLE, I do like to shop in the Black Friday sale for sure. And I still have some K-Beauty blushes and also lip products on my wish list, as well as some Flower Nose eyeshadow palettes. Then last but not least, this is one that I added in the last couple of weeks. I did Drugstore Week the other day. In fact, I'm wearing the look that I did in my dupe video. So if you're like, you're wearing 2 different blushes and why doesn't your eye look match? I was like, you know what? I like the look enough as a whole to film some other videos today. So I just decided to keep wearing it and film some more videos. But yeah, Kiko Milano has been added to the list because I asked in my full face Kiko Milano makeup look video that I did last week whether people would be interested in seeing some more lip products from Kiko. So I think about 2 years ago now, I did a video where I reviewed at least one shade from every single formula that Kiko Milano has to offer. And I bought those lip products also in the Black Friday sale. And I was like, I was doing that video and I was realizing, you know what, I'm just going to ask if people would want to see it. And there were plenty of comments who said, yes, we would like to see that. And I was like, I'm just going to have to see if Kiko does a good Black Friday deal, and then I can buy those lip products all in one go. I already went through the website. I made my selection. It's sitting in a little Word file for me to complete, just in case everything gets kicked out of my basket. But Kiko has very often done in the past a 2-for-2 deal for Black Friday. So buy 2 products, get 2 for free. So at least I think that's what they did last year, if I remember correctly. So those are the things that I want to get for Black Friday. Do with that what you wish. Again, Kiko Milano, I don't have a code for. I'm not affiliated with them, but if there are ever shopping links with 2 Kiko Milano products in my description box, it's because I am part of an affiliate link program, and they just allow me to find links on websites and put it through their linking system, and then everything is in the same spot. That has been working pretty well for me. So those are some things that I want to buy for Black Friday. But let's get into the general idea of this video now, where I chat to you about where I buy my products. Where do I go when I want to buy makeup? And I made a list here. I'm not sure how exhaustive it is in terms of like what brands I usually like buy from directly. But there are only a handful of brands where I use the official brand's website to buy makeup. Because a lot of makeup brands, a lot of their websites are based in the US. Something, for instance, like Tarte or Natasha Denona, they have websites where you can purchase makeup. But since I'm in the EU, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to be buying from them, because you will be hit with all of these additional fees very often, because these individual brands very often don't have the deals with shipping companies that bigger conglomerates will have, as I will discuss in a second. So I tend to buy from Kiko Milano. I just go to kikomilano.com. They have a Dutch website, so I buy that. I think it actually ships from Italy. I know that they also have a US version of that website, and Kiko can be found at Ulta if you are in the US, so there are certain places you can find it. Of course, Kiko Milano also has stores. So if you're in the EU, in lots of bigger cities, there are dedicated Kiko stores. And I love going into store and swatching things, but I have found that some of the older products that they say are discontinued are still online. So if, for instance, you want to get backups of the old water shadows, they may no longer be available in store, but the stock is still available online. And I find more shades when I go online. So by now, I know the Kiko line very well. So I just tend to place orders online, even though I have a Kiko store in my town. I never, ever really go into the store because I don't need to swatch anything anymore for Kiko purchases. That's a me problem. But yeah, if you do want to go into store, Kiko does have stores. They're never located inside like a drugstore here. They will have their own storefront in shopping streets. Lisa Eldridge is a brand that I tend to buy online. Lisa Eldridge got started as an online-only brand. They do now sell Lisa Eldridge makeup in Space NK and in Selfridges and in Liberties. Like, there are Lisa Eldridge counters around in other places. So you can now find it in store, and you can go swatch it if you want to. But I still tend to buy, whenever I make the purchase, I tend to buy it through the website. Again, a really good reason for that for me is that I'm part of the Emerald program. I think about a year ago, they introduced this tier program, a loyalty program if you wish, and all of your purchases that you had done on the website previously counted towards your status on the website. So I made the highest tier because I do own all of the bullet lipsticks from the brand. So I spend a pretty penny on some Lisa Eldridge makeup, let me tell you, in the past. Lisa Eldridge doesn't do a lot of like sales and stuff. There was a bit of sale over the summertime to clear out some products, but I've never really seen discount codes for Lisa Eldridge during Black Friday sales, for instance. So, but I do tend to go directly to her website. And the reason for that is that Lisa Eldridge did invest in making sure that different parts of the world have their own fulfillment centers. So that's why it's really important if you browse the website to choose your location because it will show different stock, whether you're in the US or the EU, because there are different fulfillment centers around the world for the Lisa Eldridge website. So I do know that. I already mentioned Victoria Beckham. That is a website that I like to shop from directly. Victoria Beckham, I now saw this year that they were in Selfridges, which is actually a first because Victoria Beckham has also been an online only brand for a while. I very deliberately chose to go to the Victoria Beckham store in Soho in London to buy my very first Victoria Beckham beauty product because that for a very long time was the only place where you can find this makeup, which was strange because Victoria Beckham is not a brand that's within my price point clothing wise. So it felt very weird to go in there and check out the makeup, but I did it and it's fine, but I tend to, again, go online to make that purchase. ColourPop is another one. I know that ColourPop is available in the US through places like Ulta. Over here, if you're in the EU, the only place you can buy ColourPop is online. You have to go through the ColourPop website because that is a US-based website. You're gonna be met with additional shipping fees. Those rules have changed. I believe that ColourPop now adds everything already to your tab as you're checking out. So there are no surprises once the package comes to you. However, this does differ per location, per country where you're at. So that may not be the case for whatever country you are in. But the last time I think I bought from them, everything was added at checkout, which to me always makes it a little bit easier because even though there is an additional cost, I will already know upfront and I can make it part of the decision to make the purchase. So for me, that's always a little bit easier. But yeah, the only way to get ColourPop, I get this question a lot, especially from people in the Netherlands and in Belgium. Very often people want to know, how did you get ColourPop? I order it online. I eat the extra expense. Sometimes with some ColourPop products, it's worth it, but not all of them, and don't expect it to be as affordable as US influencers say it's going to be. It's going to cost you more money. It's up to you to decide whether you find that worth it, yes or no. And the final brand I want to mention here that I have used in the past, but I can very easily find this in store, is Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury website has loads of product and their Black Friday deal is usually pretty decent. What you need to know about Charlotte Tilbury though is that throughout the week the deals change, and I've always found with Charlotte Tilbury that if you wait until Black Friday weekend or even Cyber Monday, you get the best deal. So with Charlotte Tilbury, it is worth waiting if you were interested in picking anything up. But their website is pretty solid. I have never been hit with additional shipping and handling fees, even after Brexit. That never happened for me. So Charlotte Tilbury is another brand website that I have shopped from in the past, but I haven't really shopped many Charlotte Tilbury products in recent years because I have just found that everything is incredibly warm toned and it just doesn't really suit my skin tone. So I haven't been a huge fan of Charlotte Tilbury as I started trying more and more products. I just found it too overpriced for what it is, and I can find good makeup at a similar or other price point that works for me so much better than this brand has to offer. But if you were curious for Charlotte Tilbury, know that the website is pretty solid. Then of course there are stores you can shop from as well as online retailers. Stores I tend to shop from, sometimes I even shop online with them. So this can go both ways if I have access to that website, because not all of the places I have listed here I have access to online because they're just based in countries I don't live, so they don't ship to my location, or getting things shipped to my location can be really expensive. So first up, there's Drugstore. So I tend to go to Kruidvat and Ethos here in the Netherlands. They are Dutch drugstores. Kruidvat is literally around the corner from my house. I can go in there. It's where I find Essence, Catrice, Kruidvat name brand, and I think they still have L'Oreal in there. But I also go to the bigger one in town and the one in the shopping mall near me, where they have Rimmel and Max Factor, Maybelline, Makeup Revolution, Bourjois. What else is in there? Some other bits. What else is in there? I'm completely blanking. I was in there the other day. And another good thing about those bigger stores is that they have the bigger gondolas that have more space. Over here is just a selected range of products that they sell from Essence and Catrice. So I do tend to go in there, but I also buy Essence and Catrice. Like if it's the new releases that you see me do videos with, I tend to get those online. So we'll get to that in a second. But I also like to go into the German drugstore, which is DM or Rossmann. I like to go into from time to time as well. I feel they have a very similar price range. I have to go to Germany in order to be able to visit these stores though, because even though they do have online websites, I cannot order through those websites because it's Germany only. It's pretty much. So those are like the drugstore bits that I get. And then here in the Netherlands, we do have Sephora-like stores. It's not exactly like Sephora, but we have Douglas, which is actually a German chain, but they have loads of stores here in the Netherlands, as well as Ici Paris XL, which is a Dutch franchise, which has stores in the Netherlands and Belgium. Both of those stores have brands that are exclusive to them. Douglas sells Too Faced, Ici Paris sells Huda Beauty. So they have their things, but they also have your Dior, your YSL, your Chanel, like those kind of brands. Both of them sell, and then they have a couple of brands that are unique to them. Here in Rotterdam, it's really easy because they're located right across from each other. So you go into one and then you can just cross the street and go into the other. You have the full shopping experience. So that's definitely that. And then of course I do shop at Sephora. Also online sometimes. The UK and French Sephora websites send to my location. I've even been able to purchase things from Sephora in the US in the past, but then the EU changed some privacy laws and Sephora US was like, we're not going to do that. And then they revert you back to this French website now, which is a bit of a shame. But before that happened, I was able to buy things from the US as well. That's how I got some KVD stuff at the time. That's a while ago. I just moved into this place when that happened. And then, of course, I do go to Paris sometimes. I take the Eurostar train down to Paris. I did it about 3 times this year. And then I can go to the Sephora on the Champs-Élysées if it's open. The last time I was there, it wasn't open. But yeah, then I do go shopping there. So I do like to go to Germany and France to be able to go to Sephora. Germany doesn't always have everything. That's one of the reasons why I like going to the one on Champs-Élysées, because that's the flagship store for Sephora Europe. And that's where you'll find most brands, the biggest gondolas and the biggest stock. So that's why I like going there. It's super busy in there. It's very overwhelming. But yeah, that is why I do tend to go to those places at least like once a year now. That's like the plan for next year is to go to Paris once and to go to Germany once. And then I'll tell you more about it on the other channel, what my travel plans are for 2025. Then whenever I'm in France, I also like to seek out Monoprix and the pharmacy. Pharmacy more so for skincare. They don't really carry makeup. And Monoprix is the place in France where you'll find more like drugstore makeup. So that's where they will sell like L'Oreal and Maybelline and those kind of things. I was hoping to find more like unique brands there as well, but I couldn't really find them. It was just what we could get as well. It was just slightly cheaper. And then whenever I'm in the UK, I seek out Space NK. If I'm in London, I seek out Selfridges and Liberties as well. So Space NK is like UK Sephora, but more niche. How should I explain it? It's sort of like a similar setup to Sephora where you just have all these different beauty brands that are being sold, but it's definitely more targeting more niche brands than what Sephora has to offer. You will not find Dior in there, but you will find Hourglass in there, and you'll find Rare Beauty in there, and Chantecaille. So there are brands in there that are harder to find in other places, so that's why I like to go in there. I don't often shop there, though. I don't buy much in there, but it's a great place to browse. And then I already mentioned Selfridges and Liberties. These are 2 department stores that are located in London. Selfridges has a beauty hall, so when you walk in, you just have the main floor where you will find your Clinique and your MAC and your Pat McGrath, like all the mainstream brands. But then if you keep walking towards the back, they have an entire section with more niche makeup as well. And that's where Lisa Eldridge is, that's where REM Beauty is, that's where Natasha Denona is. They have loads of skincare brands in there. Selfridges it's really good to browse and just have a look. And similarly for Liberty's, it's a little bit of a smaller setup. It's a beautiful building. It's this like Tudor style building, which is really, really pretty. They sell Trinity London in there. That's where I go if I want to pick up Trinity London. Lisa Eldridge in there, but they also have Byredo. Again, more like niche, more expensive brands. Jones Beauty is in there. That's what it's called? You know, the Bobbi Brown founder, Jones Road. That's what it's called. That's also in Liberty. So I like to take a trip to London once a year just to be able to go to some of these stores and be able to browse all of these brands. And then if I'm in Paris, I also like to go to Galerie Lafayette. I don't like to go to the big Galerie Lafayette, which is more in the west side of town. I tend to prefer the one on the Champs-Élysées because they have a better beauty offering. And what they are especially good at is doing niche perfumes. They just have this giant wall of niche fragrance. It's just great to have a browse, to smell things that you cannot afford, but it's great. It's really good to go in there and just have a sniff of all these really expensive fragrances that you hear everyone on fragrance social media talking about, but that, especially where I live, are super difficult to get, and I can never get my hands on it, let alone smell it. And with fragrance, I'm just so scared of a blind buy if I have to pay 200 euros for a bottle of fragrance. So that's why I like to go in there and have a sniff and sometimes buy something there, but I haven't bought much there because it's very, very expensive. And then to add on to the list of all these like department stores, I sometimes like to go into the Bijenkorf here in the Netherlands. So that is another store if you ever go makeup shopping in the Netherlands. Bijenkorf has a good floor. They do some niche fragrances. They also do like MAC, NARS, Bobbi Brown, Clinique, Estee Lauder, Kiehl's. Like those are like the kind of brands that you're going to find on the floor of Bijenkorf. And it's like our more upscale department store you could find. I think it's the only one that's still around. The other one went bankrupt a couple of years ago. And there's another one I need to list for everyone in the Netherlands. Skins Cosmetics. They don't have a lot of stores, but they do have an online store. And again, they are more niche. They're like the Dutch version of Space NK, I would say. So they sell RMS Beauty. They sell like niche fragrances like Creed. Those you will be able to find at Skins Cosmetics. And then I'm talking about Skins Cosmetics. There's another one that's popping in my brain. Both in Paris and in London, I have found a store called Oh My Cream. And Oh My Cream is another more niche, smaller beauty chain, you could say. They sell RMS Beauty, but they also sell Violette FR, which is the sort of like super French makeup, and they also do lots of like niche skincare and hair care brands. So if you want more niche products, then there are definitely places you can go in Europe as well. I would recommend checking out Skins Cosmetics and Oh My Cream. Not sure about Oh My Cream having an online presence. I've only ever seen the stores, and I only went in there once, and all these ladies were like looking at me, and I felt a little bit awkward, which is why I ended up not buying anything there. But those are other places you can check out. And then for online, where do I go online? There are quite a few here. Also within Black Friday, these are the places that seem to have pretty good deals. These are the places that will have side-wide codes and things like that. So first up, where I used to shop all the time for Black Friday is Cult Beauty. And Cult Beauty usually have a code. You do need to be signed up to their newsletter very often, I find. So last year, so many people were saying that they couldn't get a discount on Natasha Denona, but I had a link in my newsletter, and if I click that, I did get 25% off Natasha Denona through them. So with Cult Beauty, it does pay off to be subscribed to their newsletter and like keep an eye on it a little bit and go through the newsletter rather than just going on the website. But they, again, are a UK-based website that sells a lot of different niche products. It's the only place in Europe where I have been able to find Patrick Ta. if that's what you're interested in. They are very behind on releases though. So the popular products that you see all over your TikTok and your Instagram feed, they probably won't have yet. But that's been the only place I've been able to find that. They do they do Huda Beauty and Natasha Denona and Pat McGrath. And very often Cult Beauty will be one of the first places where certain brands are sold within the European market, I find. So they're a good place to check out just from time to time to see what's new. Ever since Brexit, though, they have upped their prices. They are, because they're UK based, they don't charge you, like they will prevent extra charges in terms of shipping and handling fees after the fact, but they have just been upping their prices to make sure that they can like pay for it up front. So that's one of the reasons why I don't like to shop on there anymore, because if I wait for things to get to Sephora France, I will have to pay less for shipping, and I will actually be able to save a little bit of money that way. So less shipping, and the products are cheaper because Cult Beauty has gotten a little bit pricey ever since Brexit. Beauty Bay is another place that is based in the UK where they have loads of brands. It's the best place for me to get Sigma, for instance. I have a link to Sigma in the website in my description box down below, but that's to their official website. That's where I have the affiliate code with, but I tend to get my my Sigma products from Beauty Bay because it's just easier. And Beauty Bay has been getting more drugstore brands as well. So they will very often be the first place within Europe to get US Milani or Maybelline products, etc., etc. So it can be worth checking out. But similarly to Cult Beauty, ever since Brexit, Beauty Bay has done a similar thing where they've upped the prices for people in the EU, which means you don't pay for additional shipping and handling fees afterwards, but it does mean that the prices are sometimes marked up so much that you're better off waiting for the product coming to actual continental EU sometimes. So with Beauty Bay, again, I don't always find it worth it. Beauty Bay also, do they still sell Melt? I also bought some of my Melt palettes through Beauty Bay. So again, there are just certain brands on there that I would still go to if I'm interested in a certain product. But yeah, that's a place that you can check out. Another place that's similar is Look Fantastic. I sometimes check that out, but Look Fantastic, I don't know why, but they do very similar things to Cult Beauty and Beauty Bay, and those two I have better experiences with than I have with Look Fantastic. So I just don't tend to go there, and they do very similar things. So I look at it sometimes. I think I bought a concealer there once that I couldn't find anywhere else because my shade wasn't sold anywhere here in the Netherlands. So then going to Look Fantastic, which is also based in the UK, made it a little easier. And then sometimes, but not all the time, I check out Beautylish. And Beautylish has, for instance, brands like Good Molecules and Wayne Goss. I remember buying some products from Wayne Goss on Beautylish. But Wayne Goss now has a like EU-based website, I believe. That brand has had a complete relaunch, and I've completely lost track of it ever since they did that. But yeah, Beautylish is a place I would go to for those sort of like more niche things. And Beautylish is located in the US, and they are one of those websites that does add all of the VAT and custom fees and everything at checkout, so there are no surprises once you get the products home. And I've had great customer service experiences with Beautylish because one of my orders was lost, it seemed. So they sent me the entire order, and then I received that new order, and then 2 weeks later, the old order was also brought to my doorstep, and it was like loads of skincare products, and I mailed them. I was like, what do you want me to do? Send it back? And they were like, no, keep it. So that was good customer services from Beautylish. Then there's also some EU-based websites that I like to shop for, very often drugstore products. One of them is Notino. Notino is Polish or German, I don't know, but they're a little bit more Eastern-based, I guess, and Notino has, you know, Dior and Chanel, they have that as well, but I tend to go there to link drugstore products. Whenever I need drugstore products, Notino. And they do loads of brands that I've never heard of. And some of them I still want to try. I have a little wish list of like potential eyeshadow palettes I want to buy from there, but I'm not entirely sure because some of them are quite pricey and I don't know whether it will be worth it. But for instance, Notino is where I can find Eveline Cosmetics, which is a Polish-based drugstore brand. They also do a load of Essence and Catrice products. They also do the newer things quite quickly, which I like. And in a similar vein, I do also like to check out Lyko from time to time. Lyko is a website that is based in Scandinavia. I think they're based in Sweden. So they also do some Scandinavian brands. So they do, what's it called again? Lumine. They're also on Notino, by the way. They do with Linda Hallberg's makeup brand. So I felt that Lyko, because I've now been to Sweden and I've been able to go into Kicks, but I didn't put that on my list of stores to go to because I was like, I've only been there once. That's not something I actually go shopping. I didn't buy anything when I was there. But I when I was walking around Kicks, I felt like Lyko is like the online storefront of Kicks because a lot of the brands that were inside Kicks, I've been able to find on Lyko in the past. So they did have Linda Hallberg's brand inside Kicks and also Eden Minerals. Is that how you pronounce it? So there were some interesting things in there as well. But yeah, Lyko is another one where I usually link to if you're looking for like Essence and Catrice stuff because they usually have pretty good stock and it's out pretty quickly as well. So if you're looking for certain drugstore brands and you're in the EU, then Notino and Lyko are my best places to look at. Notino is cheaper than Lyko though. So but very often Lyko will have something in stock and then Notino doesn't, or the other way around. So I tend to go back and forth between the two and find them pretty comparable, you could say. And then the place where I buy my Essence and Catrice stuff for the semi-annual updates that I do is Boozy Shop. And Boozy Shop is a Dutch website. boozyshop.nl is the website. I remember the owner, like I've been shopping through that website for years because they were the only place that had things like the Coastal Scents stuff and NYX when I first got into makeup about like 15 years ago. So I've been around for a while. The owner has the same name as me. She's also called Micah, and her web shop name came from an online test she did trying to figure out what Smurf name you would have, and she was Boozy Smurf, and then she turned her website into Boozy Shop and she kind of stuck with it. So I do know that they do ship internationally, but of course you will be hit with shipping and handling fees if you're not within the Netherlands. So very often what I have buying from these international websites, you will have if you buy through Boozy Shop, but they have been the place for me to find all of the new Essence and Catrice releases. They do loads of other brands there as well, but I just tend to check out those two. I'm usually not interested in the other brands they sell because they are the hyped up TikTok brands. That's what they have been really good at. So if you're looking for hyped up TikTok brands and you're in the Netherlands, then Boozy Shop is one to look out for. And I used to check out Cosmetic for Less, but they went bankrupt. And I think the website is still around, but they're just selling off old stock. They didn't get the new Essence and Catrice releases in because they just haven't been putting out anything new. So that was a German-based website that did ship internationally that I used from time to time. And then, of course, I've already mentioned MONOLITH. If you're looking for indie makeup and you're in the EU and you don't want to spend a load of money on shipping and handling fees, then MONOLITH is your go-to. I'm just going to give them another shout out here. It was actually recommended by you guys. My viewers put me onto MONOLITH, so there's a reason there. And then, of course, I tend to shop K-Beauty from time to time as well. My favorite place for K-Beauty is YESSTYLE. They ship from China, and China is exempt from a lot of tariffs in international treaties, which is why shipping from China is so much more affordable than from other countries that are not inside of your continent. So if you're in the EU or in the US, that's why, not because other countries make it a lot more expensive. No, China is just exempted from a lot of taxes and things they need to pay to ship internationally. So yeah, YESSTYLE is therefore a little bit more affordable. They do free shipping over a certain amount of product. And whenever I've shopped YESSTYLE, I've never been hit with additional custom fees for my packages. Like I already mentioned, I do have an affiliate code with YESSTYLE. They have sent me some products in the past, but I have also bought plenty of my products from there myself. And as I already mentioned, I hope to shop through them this time around as well. I have shopped from Stylevana. Sometimes if I really have my heart set on something and it's not available on YESSTYLE, I'll go to Stylevana. And similarly for Olive Young. Olive Young is based in Korea though, so I did get a really nice sizable custom fee bill once that package arrived when I got some products through there. But Olive Young is a Korean based website, so they are the most up to date with all of the K-beauty stuff if that's what you're interested in. And I think I've covered most of the places that I like to shop from. I will make sure to have loads of links in the description box down below. If you click some of those, it may be affiliated because I can put those links through my affiliate link program, just so you know. But yeah, that way you can find all the places I like shopping from. And if they have a website, I'll have it there. I cannot guarantee that the website will always work in your country. There's a reason why I don't promote Ulta, because I, as an EU-based customer, cannot access their website. If I type in ulta.com, I will get a blocked website, like access denied. Of course, I could do something with a VPN or something so I could at least browse, but that's why you never see Ulta on here. Similar thing with US Sephora. If I try to go to a US Sephora website, it reverts automatically back to the French website. Same thing for the Catrice website, because Catrice US, they have their own website where you can find a lot of the products as well. But if I type in that URL, it reverts me back to the European website. So that does happen. So depending on your location, these things may be accessible to you or not. But I hope this was helpful, that this way you have a nice overview of where you can find some things. But if there's anything I failed to mention, just leave a comment down below and I will do my best to answer it. But this is in general where I get most of my makeup from. Because that's a question I get a lot. Like, how did you get this? How did you get your hands on that? How did you get your hands on that? A, I travel, and two, I sometimes don't mind having to pay custom and handling fees. Sometimes I will just bite the bullet and do it. That's just the way it goes. So yeah, thank you so very much for joining me here today. Let me know what your shopping strategies are, or if you want to share your Black Friday wish list, let me know. I would love to know. And yeah, thank you so very much for joining me. Thumbs up this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more by me. I make several videos every single week, and I hope you'd like to stay tuned for more. And then I hope to see you again in my next one. Bye-bye.